Hello everybody. Now, I'm here to talk about Landers, the supermarket. Now, I've watched videos on YouTube about Landers and they really piss me off sometimes because whoever's filming, they go around with the camera showing everything they've got, but you never get a chance to look. Or even when they zoom in on the price, by the time you get to read it, the camera's moved on. So my visit to Landers, my first visit to Landers actually, I'm going to just talk you through it and show you some of the items that I purchased. Now, I'm not being discriminate against certain people, but if you're going to shop at Landers, you do need some money, okay? Now, if you're going to Landers with the intentions of buying things like this, yeah, forget it, because you won't get it. Landers is more of a bulk. Now, when I say bulk, I don't mean bulk as in like buying stock for a supermarket or a sari store. We've got a sari store, but we go to a shop called Lenova near Publisher Market, where we buy bulk tins like this. Everything you need for a sari store. What I think is Landers is more of a bulk buying for the family home, and I'll tell you why. Now, I purchased my Landers card online, and if you can do that, I advise you to actually do that, because I paid for my Landers card online, which was 700 pesos, and that was a few months ago, and we finally found time this Sunday or last Sunday to go and visit Landers for the first time. You can get your membership card there in Landers, but you have to scan this barcode and everything else to pay and blah, blah, blah. When my number was called, I went up and within a minute, my card was issued. And I will show you my card. Okay, sorry about that, I should have got it ready. This is my Landers card. On the back is my photograph. Now, that is not transferable. If my partner goes to Landers, she has to take me with her, which is a good thing, then I know how much she's spending. You show your Landers card when you go into the store. You show your Landers card if you go in for a meal. And you show your Landers card at the till. No other person can use it because on the back, like I said, is a photograph. And they take the photograph at the time when you go and get your membership card. Now, take my advice. If you're going to Landers for a look round, fine. The trolleys are like coffins. They are huge. Now, if you're going to Landers for the first time and you intend to do a big shop, take my advice and take a cool box with you, or an ice box, wherever it's called over here. The trolleys are big enough. We asked the staff, can we put a cool box in? And they said yes, because a lot of the stuff in Landers is frozen. And by the time you get round Landers, it could take you a good hour and a half if you're looking, and even more so. Then you need an ice box or something to put your frozen food in. Unlike us, we just went for a look and we said that the next time we go, we will definitely take an ice box. Now, when you go into Landers, the first part that you meet, when you go into Landers itself, the card registration is on the left. You'll see seats there with people and a counter, and a man hands you a number and you just wait for your number to be called. Very, very quick. Once you've got that, you go over to the far side of the store, where is the entrance. There you pick up your coffin style trolley, which is absolutely massive. They don't push like normal trolleys. It's You have to steer from the rear, so to speak. Anyway, you'll soon realise. And the first part you hit is mainly the cosmetics, toothpaste, toiletries, etc., etc. Now, we didn't at the time really go for anything. My partner bought some soap, which was very, very expensive soap, over 1,000 pesos a bar, but she gets an extra bar free on each of those as well. Now, if I go again and we've moved into our house in Cordova, I will buy like a 25 kilo bag of soap powder. At the moment, I go to my local store and buy a 3.5 kilo bag of soap powder, and it can last over a month because we don't wash every day. So I would buy a bulk soap powder which could probably last a year. And this is the sort of bulk buying that I am trying to tell you. It's for your home. It's not mainly for a store. So we had a good look round. They do everything there you can think of, makes from different countries and everything else, some very popular brands that I saw. And then we moved down to, they do gas barbecues, all sorts of designs of barbecues, upholstery items like cushions, etc. Underwear by Calvin Klein. It's not cheap. It isn't cheap, but it's good quality. I had picked up the cushions, and if I compared the cushions to the cushions that I bought in Mandawi foam, these ones are far superior. The ones I bought in Mandawi foam are like, you know, cotton wool basically, where these ones are quite firm and everything. So, and the gas barbecues were very, very reasonable. I don't like gas barbecues myself, mainly because I've never used them. I always use charcoal, but for an American person that's probably more experienced in these sort of things, then it's probably good. So then we moved over. We wasn't really interested in buying any of that sort of stuff. We mainly went there to see what the food was like. So I saw a sign called Dough & Co, and I believe that the Dough & Co is where they make all the cakes. And they did have a very, very big selection of cakes. We purchased a carrot cake, and we also purchased a cake called apple crumble. I was a bit disappointed with the apple crumble cake, although it was very, very, very nice. I'm not criticising the taste or anything, but for an Englishman, an apple crumble is cooked apple with like a crumble topping, but this was more like a cake. But it was very nice. It was very nice. So we bought them, and then we was roaming around looking at the meats. Now, obviously, they had pork. Where wouldn't they have pork? They had beef, fresh pork, frozen beef, frozen pork. And I was looking for lamb, and I found lamb. And they had a couple of legs of lamb and some other joints of lamb, which again was frozen. So the chance of me buying it was a waste of time by the time I actually got it home. But they had vast amounts of selection of sausages, sliced meats, different cheeses. It was out of this world really compared to my local supermarket, and they provide some good stuff there. The fish, now this is where I was really a bit disappointed because I didn't have a cool box. I love salmon, and I've looked everywhere for salmon, and you asked, do you have salmon? It's the normal thing. Sorry sir, out of stock, and blah blah blah. There is a website on Facebook that does salmon in Cebu, but I like to see what I'm actually buying. They had a vast amount of salmon, whether cutlets, fillets, you name it, they had it. And it looked really, really nice. I'm not I'm not bothered whether it's farm salmon or fresh salmon or whatever. It's salmon, and that's it. And I do love salmon. So the next time we go, I will definitely buy salmon, but first buy a cool box. Otherwise you'll make the same mistake as us. But our first visit was just to explore. Not only that, they also had fresh fish. They also had loads and loads of frozen fish as well, which I didn't really take a look at. I really wanted to see if they had cod, frozen cod. But the freezer containers, now this is, I don't mind frozen veg. I like fresh veg occasionally, but I don't mind frozen veg either. Now, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before, my local supermarket had Brussels sprouts. Now, being an Englishman, I love my sprouts. And lo and behold, since that time, they have never had it in stock. I don't know why, but they never had it. I go around, the first cabinet of the frozen items on the vegetables was Brussels sprouts. So I would have bought a good couple of bags of Brussels sprouts. Not only that, they had loads of other different variations of frozen vegetables, more than you can think of. It was unbelievable. Then you go down, you've got frozen ice creams, you've got frozen this, you've got frozen pizza, you've got everything in there. But I say it's not cheap. It isn't cheap. We spent 9,000 pesos, and that was just us having a look round, but it was some things we bought. Now, I bought some things here just to show you, actually. Now, see this tea leaf tea. We bought 2 packs of them. Those in packs of 6, okay, of 500 ml. We bought 2 packs, so we bought 12 in total. And that came to 449 pesos, 12 of them, which we thought was quite reasonable. Now, one of the reasons why I went to Landers, well, not one of the reasons, but one of the things I wanted to look out for was oyster sauce. And I couldn't find oyster sauce. So in the end, I had to ask someone, and she literally found it for me. And this huge bottle of oyster sauce, which is 907 grams, okay, which will last me well over probably a year. That cost me, 235 peso. Now, when I looked into the store, my local store, I finally found oyster sauce. But the only bottle they had was 765 grams, which is a difference of 132 compared to that one. And they was charging for a 765 gram, 202 peso. And like I said, you have to excuse me, I'm doing this, I paid 235. And I thought that was a very good bargain. But one of the biggest bargains I found in Landers is Worcestershire sauce, Lee and Perrins. Very, very expensive. No matter where I look in Pajo, it's very expensive. Now, I could not believe my eyes when I walked around Landers and I saw this huge bugger. Yes, I have never seen one as big as that in any local store. This one is 568 mils. Okay, over half a litre. That cost me, and it was reduced from 359, it was reduced to 323. So I bought that huge bottle of Lee Perrins Worcestershire sauce for 323. Now, when I went into my local store, I found 150 ml only, and a little titchy bottle. And that was 140 peso. Yeah, so not only that, I was walking around, oh, nearly dropped it then. I was walking around and I found this. Okay, a huge jar of peanut butter, which I believe is 1.36 kilograms. Yeah. Now I tell you how much I paid for that. 1.36 kilograms, which is about in the store, my local store, that was 500 peso. In Landers, I paid 476. That again was reduced from 498 to 476. So as you can see, buying in Landers is mainly bulk items for the house. This will last me a year. This peanut butter, I need to eat as much as I can to get it. The expiry date is next year, but I will eat as much as I can of that. But this little baby, never seen that size anywhere. Not only like in the local store, the 150 grams in the meals, and this is 568. And you only use a few splashes in sauces or something. That will last me a lifetime. Now, one of the biggest things is you're walking around Landers and sometimes you see things that you never even dreamed of. So just excuse me for a moment. Very lately, we have been drinking the milk. I forget. We've been drinking almond milk. Now we found that in Landers, and that was cheaper as well. That was, I think, 202, which was a lot cheaper than it was. No, sorry. I think it was 213. And it was 230 in the local shop. So as you can see, it's quite, they don't just knock 1 or 2 pesos off, they knock quite a few pesos off, and sometimes they have a sale on, and if you download the app on your phone of Landers, it shows you when the sales are on or whatever's you can buy. Now, I was like a kid at Christmas time when I saw this next item. Being a Brit, I like salads, but I also like salad cream. Never have I ever found this in any local store. It's on Lazada. Yes, I can buy it on Lazada, but you pay twice as much for the shipping. When I saw this in Landers, I was like a kid with a new toy. I said, oh my God, salad cream, I've got to have that. And it was in my trolley. I've never, ever, and it's things like this that you don't ever, I've never seen it before. And this is some of the things that you, digestive biscuits I bought, no sugar digestive biscuits. There's lots of things. I got a list here. I spent 8,849 peso, but we got quite a lot for that. And like I said, the next time I go, and I will go again because we love it there, we'll take a cool box and we'll top up with the freezer stuff. But now let me tell you about this. Halfway through our shopping, my partner, like all Filipinos, get a bit hungry. So we decided to go and have something to eat. And we asked, and yes, you're allowed to put your trolley on the side and then walk through to the cafeteria. The cafeteria is huge. I had chicken roll, which was not a bread roll, it was like a pastry roll, and that was filled with chicken and bacon, and it was very, very nice. I really liked it. My partner, and I had French fries, and after I ate the French fries, I was full, more than what I could say if I went to Jollibee and had French fries. My partner had lasagna, a small plate of lasagna and 2 chicken legs, and rice, which she didn't eat the rice. But we also had 2 iced teas. Now, I didn't like the iced tea, mainly because it was sweet. If it wasn't sweet, it'd be perfect. And comparing that with a iced tea in KFC, which is like piss, this iced tea was very, very nice. But next time I'll probably have probably water or something, or even Sprite. Sprite wasn't as sweet as the iced tea, but anyway, it was really, really nice, and we would definitely go in there and have lunch again. When you come out, we picked up a trolley. I noticed that there was a patisserie, where they had chickens, where you could go and order a chicken to pick up on your way out. Next door to that was a salad area. Now, there is a vegetable area in Landers as well, which is very, very big, and it's got all sorts of vegetables. But on the salad area, it had everything that you need for a salad, like lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, spring onions and everything. Now, I noticed that it was a lot fresher than my local market. The spring onions, for example, you could buy a bunch of them with about 5 or 6 spring onions in it. In my local market, you get about 2 or 3 and they're all brown. The lettuce was fresh, but in my local supermarket, the edges were all brown and everything else. So the salad bar, and it had a choice of mushrooms as well, which my local supermarket don't have. And they had little packets of cauliflower, cut up cauliflower, all different sorts of vegetables cut into small boxes. So very handy if you're making a stir fry, coupled with my oyster sauce. And it was great. I must admit, we love Landers. We love Landers. Definitely go again, but we will buy an ice box first of all to put in our trolley, and so we make sure that I can buy some salmon, some frozen veg and everything else. Now, we caught a taxi because I didn't know where Landers was, or I didn't want to go driving around trying to find it. It cost about 200 pesos from Pajo to Landers, which was okay. But it was very, very good. We was very happy with it. But like I said, if you're going for this sort of stuff, don't bother. Yeah. Now, I think that's about all really. Like I said, when you go in for the meal, you have to show your ID, your Landers card, which is no problem. When you get to the till, they're very efficient, none like some of the supermarkets here. The trolleys are that big, they take out the trolley, scan it, put it back in the trolley, so it's up to you to pack it. Where the majority of people, I would assume, have got a car, so they wheel it round to the car park and unload it. I bought 2 carrier bags because we didn't have any bags, so I bought 2 big cotton carrier bags. I think they were about 73 peso, but they were big. And we managed to get a taxi straight outside the door. The security man came with us. Excuse me. He helped us put the bags in the back of the taxi, and he took the trolley off us and took it back in. Very efficient, very good quality of food. When I say you need money to go to Landers, that's only if you're going to buy a big shop. Obviously, if you know what you're going to buy and it's only like 500 pesos, then fine. I'm not, knocking that. But there's a lot of things that you probably see in Landers that you wouldn't see anywhere else, and it's very tempting, especially when I saw this. Ooh, I nearly had a heart attack. Bloody hell, salad cream. Unbelievable. So, that's my take on Landers, okay? Just to give you an insight. I hope my insight has given you a better insight than these idiots that go around taking photos. They do it so quick you can't even see anything. There are lots of bargains in Landers, but download the app, have a look, see, go in and see if they've got what you want, make a list by all means. But just walking around, you'll find things that you never even thought of. We bought crisps and snacks, and they were far cheaper than anywhere else. Pringles I think was a lot cheaper than my local supermarket. Drinks was cheaper. I saw people buying big packs of Coca-Cola and Sprite because it's a lot cheaper, buying it bulk, but they're not buying it for a shop, they're buying it for their home. And this is the difference, yeah? If you got a shop, then you go to a proper wholesalers where you buy a bigger bulk and you get more money off. Landers is more of a home bulk buying. Like I said, you can buy big bottles of washing up liquid, big bottles of soap powder, soap liquid, or you can use the soap powder. They've got everything in Landers. Very, very, very well stocked. The aisles are very wide. Even though you've got big trolleys, you can get round. They've got plenty of frozen stuff. The meat is frozen, especially steaks. I'm not into steaks, but I know a lot of American and Australians like their steaks, so they can probably tell a far better steak than I can. But by all means, it's worth spending 700 peso just for a look around, because I can guarantee that if you just have a look around like we did for the first time, you'll end up buying something. Guarantee it. Something that you never thought you'll ever see, and you'll buy it. So that's my take. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's out in the kitchen, but this is where all the stuff is. There's a lot more stuff that we bought. I'll try and attach some photographs if I can. But apart from that, get your Landers card online, pay for it online, and then it's seconds just to get it issued when you go. Please like and subscribe. We're trying our best to give you different topics, and it's no bullshit, it's what we see. Today is Wednesday. We went to Landers on Sunday, and we've been busy Monday, yesterday. Well, even today we had to go to the wholesalers for food, the tins, and yesterday we had to go to the wholesalers for drink and Coke and beer and everything. So we didn't have much time. So I'm back now from the wholesalers. So I've just wanted to let people know how good Landers is and what some of the savings you can get. So please like and subscribe. Like I said, we need people. Okay, so all the best and happy shopping in Landers. Yes, well, good luck.